We've had quite a month of controversies within the drone world that have been going around recently. So the first one was a cease and desist that went out to BotGrinder after he posted a, I thought, very objective analysis of videos that you see on YouTube talking about drones. So he was talking about, in the beginning, the hobby was people who were really adamant and passionate and, flew what they talked about and what they showed in their videos. And recently, there's been an explosion of people just posting like huge walls of affiliate links. And so BotGrinder had a particular content creator who had probably 300 videos in the last year, of which over 200 said, "Oh, best ever." So if you're doing reviews, it's kind of misleading for people who are brand new to the subject if every single one that you review is a best of. I have affiliate links in mind, but they're relevant to that video. So it's either that product or, yeah, it's basically that. I think maybe once or twice, if I've flown with a DJI drone, I've got a link to the drone in case anybody wanted to do what I did. You can just follow the links. To me, that's a valid use of them. And I mean, if you get somebody hooked up with something, why not follow an affiliate link? They get a little bit. I follow an affiliate link that saved me probably like 40 bucks just recently on something because the affiliate link had a built-in discount code. So anyway, the original content provider didn't take it as obstructive or constructive criticism, even though it was very constructive. I mean, BotGrinder was spot on. And it got really, really badly written cease and desist. So there's not much to that other than the brouhaha, people getting all worked up about it. The second thing that popped up was the FAA finding a drone pilot or taking him to court to recover something like 200K in fines. And so BotGrinder was sort of in the mix with that. He did an interview. I had already heard about it from Joshua Bardwell. And so what this dude was doing was flying in Class B airspace, which is defined as the most heavily trafficked airspace. It's got to have at least 300,000 flights a year. It has to have very heavy, significant commercial traffic. And it has to have millions of passengers annually, most of which are paying to be flown somewhere. And so this guy's in Class B airspace, 1,000 feet above ground level or more, going around national monuments. And so the FAA first contacted him, and this is the part you'll not hear anywhere but on BotGrinder's interview. He admits 4 years ago they sent him a letter saying, "Hey, you're kind of doing some things that aren't too right." He initially complied. They went away. No harm, no foul. But then he kept going and kept continuing with flights that were irresponsible. When I say irresponsible, if I go outside and I play ball in my backyard, that's responsible. If I go out in the middle of Interstate 5 freeway and play basketball, that's very irresponsible. So to be in Class B airspace, even if no one's around you, I mean, I could go out on the 5 at 2 a.m. and play basketball and be like, I'm not hurting anybody. There's nobody around. I can't see anybody. But let's say I was playing basketball blindfolded. Well, that's in effect what he's doing because he's 1,000 feet away. Or I'm sorry, 1,000 feet up, a mile away. So over 5,000 feet. Because DJI drones will tell you how far you are from home. And he has no visibility. Like he says in some videos specifically that he can't see left or right. He had to put a blinking light on his drone so that he could see it. So you're telling me that you don't have situational awareness of your drone and you're doing it downtown, so you're flying over people, which is not allowed unless they're a part of your flight operation, which they're not. And so, of course, the FAA hammered him. And I think if he had initially responded with, "Oh crap, my bad," and maybe pivoted, did something different, it wouldn't have gone the way that it did. But he kept on going, not just for months, but for a few years. Class B airspace, 1,000 feet up, mile out. And then on these interviews that he's doing, he did an interview with a local radio station or TV station and with BotGrinder, and I'm listening to this guy go on and on and on, and never once does he admit, yeah, I shouldn't have done it. That, wasn't the smartest thing to do. It was always, oh, poor me, which, it's kind of like getting pulled over for doing 80 in a school zone, and you're like, oh, you're just targeting me. Oh, you're just finding me because you're going to hammer me. No, we're hammering you because you're being irresponsible. You're being an idiot. So, sorry, idiot's a bit harsh, but that's the second. And then the third thing that's been making its round is the ban on DJI drones. So there's a House bill that just got passed. It is, and I'll put a copy in the link in the description below, 2864. So HR 2864 from the 118th Congress. And so what that's doing is it's adding to a list of known bad actors for communications equipment that are not allowed into the U.S. So a couple of years back, there was some Chinese telecom 5G related equipment that was believed to be phoning home data, sensitive data possibly, and so that was banned from the U.S. So they're going to add DJI to that list. So is that bad? Yes and no. I mean, the title of the bill is Countering Chinese Drones, but then when you read it, it doesn't say drones. It says, and let's go to the actual text of the bill. So the actual text of the bill says telecommunications and video surveillance equipment. That could be anything if your definition is that broad, because we all carry cell phones. Cell phone really has the same video and telecommunications capability. Actually, a phone has more than my DJI drone that I've got right there, and the FPV guy over there. So, I just don't see them being able to ban it. And then statistically speaking, if you don't like Congress, then you shouldn't be too concerned, because we've had the least effective Congress ever. They've gone an entire year passing almost nothing. I think I read somewhere they had like 7,000 bills. Less than 1% actually went all the way through. So for this to become law and take effect, here's what has to happen. So right now it's in subcommittee. It has to go to the full committee. After it goes to the full committee, then it goes to the full open floor. Then the House passes it. Then the Senate has to pass the identical language in a bill on the Senate side. Then it has to finally go to the president. In this case, all of the sponsors are Republican. So Republicans do have a majority in the House. In the Senate, I don't think this gets through. So statistically speaking, there's only a 1% chance that this gets through, primarily because Congress has decided they just don't want to govern anymore. It's more fun to poke people in the eyes and blame everybody else for being evil. But anyway, so we'll see what happens. More to follow.